We are really lucky that we live in this area and have a long-standing organization. This is CRAB's 30th anniversary. Any organization that gets along for 30 years and provides a great service is doing something right. And I think you'll find out tonight from Debbie about the Chesapeake Region Accessible Boating, which has the wonderful acronym of CRAB, which is so perfect for our area here. Debbie's going to talk about the activities and the new adaptive boating center and how you can volunteer. And I'll just make one comment because Captain Lou Novak is the captain who talked to us about his volunteer activities at our organization quite a while ago. And we have other people who volunteer. And some of you might think about how you can give back to the community with your skills at CRAB as a volunteer. And Debbie, thank you again for being able to be here tonight. And we look forward to hearing all about CRAB. You said you don't mind questions during or at the end. So if you have any questions, stick your hand up. You'll have to open your mic to ask it or write something in the chat and I will field that. Okay, Debbie, thank you. It's your turn.
Thank you. Thank you, Priscilla and Becky. I'm going to share the screen and we'll get right into it. Let's see here. Now, why is that not? Be patient with me. There we go.
There we go.
We can take that back up. There we go. CRAB, actually have a little bit of a correction. CRAB, we are in our 31st year, so we're really excited. We began in the year that they were just passing the ADA, started by a man named Daugherty, a Annapolis sailor, avid sailor, was in a car accident and paralyzed from the waist down, and his friends knew the depression was sitting in and they just did everything they could to get him into a boat. We have early pictures of them lowering him in with ropes, and I guess, I don't know how they strapped them in, but they figured it out. So we service, we have about 1,000 guests every summer out at Sandy Point State Park. We're looking forward to our own new home on Back Creek, the Adaptive Boating Center, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We run by our very highly trained volunteers. We have about 140 active volunteers in any given summer. And we do family sales, usually on Family Sale Sunday, but since COVID, we started instituting those during the week, and they're very popular. With any kind of disability, family and caregivers come out. We have group sales. We have 25 to 30 community organizations, Maryland School for the Blind, Walter Reed for Recovering Warriors, Bella McCree, OBI here, Langton Green, so all the disability organizations. We also do sailing clinics, primarily for the recovering warriors, and we have kids camps, as Vicki mentioned, Anne Arundel County Police, Boys and Girls Club, children from underserved communities, and at the Adaptive Boating Center we'll be able to do a little bit more, so we're excited about that. 2 years ago we won the very coveted U.S. Sailing Robbie Pierce Award for Outstanding Adaptive Sailing Program in the country, and also 2 years ago Governor Hogan named us as the best nonprofit volunteer program, so we're very proud of those awards. Our fleet is unique. I don't know if you've seen us at the boat shows, but we have 6 Beneteau 22As, which is for adapted. They're adapted with bucket seats like they use in race cars with a 5-point harness system. We get people on the boats through a slide system or a Hoyer lift. If they're in their wheelchair, the lift comes over and we get them into the boat. On the far right, if you can see this, we have a Martin 16-foot sip and puff steering for anyone with quadriplegia. You have to sail with an able-bodied sailor, but you literally, he sips and puffs on the mechanism that's in his mouth to move and sail the boat. We have our chase boat, a Sea-Pro center console, and we've just been awarded a wonderful grant from the Meridian Foundation for a new adaptive pontoon boat. So that will be a wonderful addition to the CRAB fleet for people in wheelchairs who don't want to get out of their chair. Not everyone wants to step into a little cockpit. Other people are leery of it. It'll be adapted so someone in a wheelchair can maneuver it with the joystick and get out on the bay. We will be needing captains to help us get that piece of the program going. So I hope you all consider volunteering. These are our sailing statistics. Basically, they hold true almost every year, but this was just from last year. So you can see, and still even a little bit of a COVID year, how many volunteer hours, the number of trained volunteers, and how many sailing days. Of course, at CRAB, safety is the #1 priority. So if it's bad winds, bad weather, anything that's amiss, we cancel sailing. So a lot of our volunteers are retired and have flexible schedules, and that certainly benefits CRAB. For the training, basically you need to go through a background check, and we have a very robust operations manual. And then we offer annual training, usually in April. We're trying to adapt our program and do it once a month. Matt Schaff is our Director of Operations. So if you are interested, even this summer, we welcome you. If you just go to crabsailing.org, there's a volunteer button. Matt will get your information. We still have a lot of program left for the summer. So we welcome new volunteers, and we would train you sort of one-on-one instead of a big group training. So you come out early. You do, if you want to be a skipper, you get 2 rides as crew, 2 rides as skipper. Our skipper or fleet director certify you, and then you're on board sailing pretty often with our group. And then here is the Adaptive Boating Center. We will be located where the yellow star is on Back Creek, right next to Annapolis Sailing School. That's right to the left. And to the right is where Watermark keeps their cruise boats. It was the old Port Williams Marina. For those of you who are familiar with Annapolis, there was a residential home, and they had a small marina. We worked on that for 2 years, and the purchasing of the land went through. When you come into the creek, you have to stay to the right. There's a huge sand shoal in the middle. So you come in to the right and you circle around and get into the crab docks there. So it'll be challenging for a lot of people, but it's going to be fun. And of course, then we'll be sailing out on the Severn versus out on the waters at Sandy Point State Park. So it'll be a little bit different kind of sailing. This is the actual property of the Adaptive Boating Center. It's on Benby Beach Road. It's pretty simple. It's 0.86 acres. You come in, you park your car, and our boathouse and our ADA accessible restrooms are right there, our welcome center. And then you go out in the new floating 16 slip marina, and you head out. To the very back of the property where the old Williams house sits will be the new Adaptive Boating Center. There'll also be an open air pavilion, so guests afterward can sit and relax and really enjoy this spectacular view. Our biggest challenge is going to be since it's such a small parking lot, getting people sort of in and out. So we still have yet to figure that out. And we can use the Ellen Moyer at the parking for Annapolis Maritime Museum, maybe have our volunteers just walk down the road. So we still have yet to figure that out. The Adaptive Boating Center is an extraordinarily unique project, and it's really very special. It's a partnership project between the state of Maryland, Anne Arundel County, and the city of Annapolis, who actually owns the property. And you can see the amounts of money they donated. CRAB has a 40-year lease back to run, build, maintain the property through the city of Annapolis. We are also very fortunate to get a waterway improvement grant of $250,000, and that's what's helped build the marina. We think we might get an award for it, and if you're ever out boating or sailing on Back Creek, look at it. It's all completed, but it's beautiful, and it will house our fleet. Plus, we have boats. Crab accepts donated boats for sale. It's one of our big income streams, so we can keep the boats there. We also got the bond bill for the restrooms, and I'm on board to raise the $3.25 million of private funding that's needed for the $6 million project. Right now, we're at 2.5 million, so we have a ways to go with that. These are our new architectural renderings from our Alt Breeding Schwartz, our new architects. That is the Adaptive Boating Center, the Tayshoff building. It's a 2,600 square foot building. It's not gigantic. It has a large open space. I'll show you in a second. Room in the front with small offices and some storage in the back. It'll be state-of-the-art technology for anyone with any disability for learning and training, which we'll primarily do in the winter months. This is an open-air pavilion where we can gather and have events. And there's a view from the parking lot. Again, 23 spaces, 7 are handicapped. We're going to have 2 electric charging stations for cars. And we've partnered with New Energy Equity, and there will be solar panels all on top of the building, and it'll be net zero cost to Crab for electricity for 25 years. So we're extremely excited about that. One of our former board members, Ian Palmer, he was our treasurer, passed away a few years ago, and he started this company. So they have made this very generous donation, which we're thrilled about.
And can I make a quick comment? This is Hans.
Please.
I'm very interested in your program, but I'm absolutely amazed and enthusiastic about your solar program. More power to you. Excellent. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Wonderful.
Thank you. It does make the building extra special, quite frankly. And so we're very lucky to have that partnership.
Yeah. And it's working. I own I power our house with solar. It's great.
It's going to be great for the future. So here's the inside of the building. The front half's only about 1,400 square feet. We'll have movable tables and chairs that flip up that we can put to the side. We'll have a big television screen for training. There's a small galley there. We can have events. We'd like to offer therapeutic yoga maybe during the winter. It's my boss even says put up a volleyball net or do some indoor sports. I don't know if we'll go that far, but it'll be a very usable space. And we have our skipper and crew lounge there and just the modest offices in the back. So it's not outrageous. We did have, I was mentioning this to Vicki and Priscilla, the original plans had it at 2 stories and the elevator itself was $100,000. And that would take up to, the plans were a boardroom upstairs and more office space. And we just decided to lean it down. And so it's really sort of a basic building for us. This is the view of the boathouse. So when you enter and you'll park, and there's the doors for the 3 restrooms, but this will be sort of the center hub of everything. So people come and register and go right down the ramp to the dock and get on the boats and do the program. And here's the view from the architectural rendering view from the docks itself. You'll see in the video the actual marina, what's in there. So all the crab boats will come into this center space there. On the far left side, the boats for sale and our other, like our chase boat and our sip and puff. and the pontoon boat will all have lifts, and they'll all be on that side of the marina. And we literally moved our boats over the day before the Northeaster in October, and the dock did beautifully. Only one boat got loose with its lines, and it really it was really a great test. We were actually very pleased with how it worked out. I included this picture. This is one from our first architect, but it shows that there's an 80-foot T head on the front of the docks. And this is our community service option. So if you have your sailboat or powerboat and you have a loved one, mother-in-law's had a stroke or whatnot, or in a wheelchair, you call and make an appointment, say we're going out at Saturday at 1. Crab trained volunteers will load her. Someone will have to get her there in their car and leave it, but we'll load her onto your own vessel. And then you just let us know basically when you get back, and we'll safely unload her. So we have the equipment and the people who know really how to handle someone getting in a boat. So we're really excited about that offering too. And then take a look at this video. It's a little dated, but it does have some good footage and gives you a great idea of the project itself. So here we go.
You might have to turn your sound up, people.
Oh, yes.
Accessible boating began
Turn it up
providing
high.
the thrill, freedom, and therapeutic value of sailing to people with disabilities, wounded warriors, and children from underserved communities. During this time period, Crab operated from a state park called Sandy Point, just north of the Bay Bridge. After 4 years of working with the state of Maryland, Anne Arundel County, and the city of Annapolis, Crab will have a new home in Annapolis. The property was formerly Port Williams Marina on Back Creek. In the coming months, the property will be cleared of its buildings and the marina in preparation for the construction of the premier adaptive boating center in the country. When construction is completed in 2021, the property will be the new home of the non-Backy Learning Center, as well as Crab offices for the operation of the facility. The center will feature a barrier-free, year-round learning environment that will be a warm and welcome place for Crab guests with any disability. Crab will offer boating instruction, STEM programming, and exercise classes taught by licensed instructors or therapists. The modern docks will exceed ADA standards and be fitted with several Hoyer lifts to lift and transfer guests from their wheelchairs into Crab sailboats or privately owned boats. The marina will also have a slip with a boat lift for a new pontoon boat that will be able to take guests in their wheelchairs out on the bay to fish, crab, and wakeboard, or to earn their Maryland boating certification. The marina will have an 80-foot T-head of unobstructed docking space for larger boats that may transit the area and wish to host guests with disabilities. The property will feature a Serenity Park with a pavilion to allow guests and their families or friends to enjoy a picnic lunch while overlooking all of the boats coming and going on Back Creek. Outdoor instruction on the lawn will provide an enjoyable backdrop overlooking the Crab fleet. When the Adaptive Boating Center is completed in 2021, it will be the premier facility for people with disabilities, wounded warriors, and children from underserved communities to access and enjoy the Chesapeake Bay. We expect many more Crab guests to share the same feeling as one guest who told us, quote, "Thank you for taking me the farthest I've ever been from my wheelchair and the memories of the accident that put me in. We look forward to seeing you at the ribbon cutting."
So I'm open to any questions. I'm sure there are some. I think I failed to mention that we will be open year round, very different for Crab, who we just do the sailing season, April through October. We're not exactly sure what our winter program will look like. We're all sort of internally committed, just like to getting through the first year and figuring out what we're going to be doing. But there will be virtual training. So maybe some more advanced sailing classes will be offered. We've talked about partnering with the community college and different kinds of things. So we still have yet to develop what that program, will look like. So, but we're excited about the possibilities for the future and being right there. So this little group has been at Blazers. Vicki, I think this is who you're going to be working with on Thursday.
Very good.
Yeah, and they were extremely enthusiastic. You can see the various levels disability and understanding. And so we do everything from spinal cord injury to autism to blindness to strokes, everything imaginable. We don't ask people to self-identify just because you're doing this. You've decided that you fit into that category. And the kids are just so great to get out and be on the water, and their smiles and all the things that happen. It's hard to describe. Maybe Vicky, you can share some stories, but yeah, Hans, I see your hand there.
Yeah. In your very telling video, which was, I thought, pretty well done, there was mention of STEM program or STEM education. What is involved there?
Well, again, we're not completely sure. We want to, we're right on a critical part of the bay. So we would like to share environmental education. There's been talk, all the mechanics of sailing. There was talks at some point of, teaching marine trades so people with disability could get involved. We're a great area for learning how to work on boats and be involved in boats depending on your level of disability. So again, it's yet to be completely fleshed out what it could be over time, certainly.
I'm sure you have your resources there, but in case you're not familiar with the STEM program at South River High School, they have STEM programs in related topics, including navigation.
Okay.
And I just wanted to pass that along.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I'm making a note of that. Wonderful.
That's a good area, Hans, that you mentioned too, because people of all abilities, if they can think clearly, they can learn to navigate or teach others how to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's something that they can take home, think about, work on after the sailing experience, and maybe are energized to come back and see on the water what they have learned looking at charts, for example.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for that suggestion. At the Adaptive Boating Center too, I failed to mention for our summertime programming, we're going to be adding other adaptive water sports. So we already have a log canoe that came from another adaptive boating program up in New England that was sunsetted. It was actually made on Ken Island many, many years ago. We've talked about doing wakeboarding. We'll have remote control sailboat racing. There's a lot of people with strokes who get involved with that, and kayaking too. The stand-up paddleboard group that goes out of Ellen Moyer Park is for veterans, and they paddleboard right in front of where the Adaptive Boating Center will be. So just by virtue of exposure to what sailing and boating can bring, we hope that we will have more veterans and recovering warriors involved in the program. And we can also strengthen the program with the Naval Academy and our military being on this side of the Bay Bridge. They have rules that they can't go over on the other side of the bridge. So just great possibilities for growth over the next 5 years. We expect to double very easily our numbers and pretty much triple in a very short period of time. And that's why we're going to need a lot of new and varied volunteers who have flexible schedules. So we really hope that folks in your group will consider, volunteering with CRAB. And we can put Priscilla, we can discuss that more in the spring when we're getting closer and do some volunteer outreach at that time. But certainly if anyone's interested this summer, we would welcome you getting, a couple sails under your belt. Yeah, Priscilla.
Debbie, did you mention that that the guests would be able to operate the pontoon boat?
Yeah, that's our plan. That
Could
it's
you tell us a little more about that?
well, it's a teaching tool, just like you're teaching sailing. This is not just therapeutic sailing and you're going
Yeah.
around the bay. Like as Vicky says, you get handed the tiller and you're learning the lines and everything else. And we will need certified instructors to help learn if someone's interested in getting their Maryland boating certificate. We also see it as pleasurable and therapeutic too, like maybe a group will want to go out fishing or something like that. The whole point's to get out on the water and really enjoy the bay. So, and we're open to suggestions for developing program. You know, we've been so focused. This has been 7 years in the making, so focused on this whole project and now the fundraising and getting it built. And we're just now internally, my colleague Rebecca and I are like, oh my gosh, you know, it's opening. What are we going to do? So our plan is to really keep things sort of status quo, you know, work out the knots the first year and then think about how we move forward in the winter and the following spring of 2024. But look forward to partnering with you all. Are there any other questions?
Any other questions?
So www.crabsailing.org, volunteer button if you're interested, Matt Schaff. If you know of anyone who might want to support this project financially, I am the fundraiser. Please shoot me an email and let me know. We have $750,000 more and we're like one in goal. I just got to get over the goal line. And then Crab's trying, you know, it's a small nonprofit and trying really hard not to tap into their line of credit. And we've had many generous people donate for the, you know, 2.5 that we've raised so far, but we're looking forward to getting our goals soon. So it's ongoing construction. If you go on our website, our last newsletter shows where we've just poured some concrete for the baseline of the foundation of the boathouse and the foundation of the adaptive boating center. So it's moving at a clip, which is exciting news for Crab. We will have a groundbreaking in March. We don't know what that looks like. We might have to do a couple of them. We have so many elected officials who are involved and so many donors and 23 parking spots. And, you know, just we have to work out all the logistics, but we may do it in various sections so that people can really see the adaptive boating center and the property and, you know, get out on the dock and see it. We're right across the creek from the Maritime Museum, which is really special, and J World, which is one of our new corporate sponsors for our Crab Cup. And we're right next door, or almost next door, to the Annapolis Sailing School. So it's a really neat triangle of good things going on down at that end of the road. So we're excited. Yeah, Hans.
Debbie, have you been in touch with the U.S. Sailing Hall of Fame? They have a lot of outreach programs, and they might be helpful in terms of suggestions and curricula and so on.
Yeah, you know, they were located in Annapolis.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, and we have similar donors who have donated to both. Gary Jobson's a big friend of Crab, right. You know, and we've made connections, but we haven't reached out as far as programming or anything like that yet. But I just put it down. So yeah, we're all in this together. And I think most of you know, or maybe you've read about, there's a bill underway by our senators of our state to declare the Chesapeake Bay as a national historic park.
Yeah.
And we've had the DNR gal, Wendy O'Sullivan, come out and look at this. And she's very excited that this is just a piece of sort of what's happening. And we're thrilled for Annapolis, as you'll see in some video clips. This is just one of the jewels of, you know, the sailing capital of the world, and the fact that we're the first one. and really helping people with disabilities. Our executive director calls it the blue parking lot marker on the Chesapeake Bay, but it'll help a lot of people with a better quality of life, and we're really, really excited about it, and that it's literally in our backyard. So we look forward to having a lot more people participate with our program.
Maybe someone could find a small piece of land near the boating center and donate it for a parking lot and have a little shuttle.
Well, that would be fantastic. And quite frankly, the Williams family, Mrs. Williams, she was a Bemby Williams, all down there is very historic. She lived in the house next door, and she passed away December a year ago. And so everyone wanted us to like try to get that land and property. At that point, the fundraisers just like, can we try to get
Yeah,
what
right.
we need, let alone, I said, that would be a very expensive parking lot, $1 million, but that would have been ideal if somehow we would have had that and been able to do that. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. I don't know what the answer is with that. We have another corporate partner, Coombs Ford Mobility, and they do the accessible vans that a lot of people in wheelchairs use. And I've talked to them about possibly, in Debbie world, I think we could maybe use a van where if people were parked somewhere, or even up at the Giant, that we could get a driver up there, get people loaded and bring them down if we had some sort of, communication system. So, we're open to thinking, different strategies out, but
Good.
it's going to be a lot of, as Vicki knows, you might have a 10 a.m. sale and a family sale and then a 12 a.m. So people are going to have to sail and then leave actually, so the next batch can come in and park, and that's going to be a challenge. Where at Sandy Point State Park, had a gigantic parking lot. So we haven't figured that out either. But that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. So, and our volunteers. So thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much.
Debbie. We really do appreciate your time that you've spent with us, and I hope some of our captains will consider volunteering. If anybody enjoys racing, the Crab Cup is coming up April 20th, and it's still time to register for that, with a great party afterwards. So thank you very much. I would.
Vicki, and thank you for bringing up Crab Cup. We have the sailing race, but we also have a poker pursuit for power boaters. It's our second year. So if you go on the Crab website, please register for both. We have skipper challenges too. Some of the boats raise money. Some of us are virtual, like I'm Team Debbie, so anyone can donate to that. It's just another way to help raise money for Crab, but it's our only fundraiser, and it does keep our programs free of charge. We have no charge people for the program. So we invite you all to the shore party afterwards, and tickets are available. And I call it a rum fest for 500 of your best friends. So very popular, very popular party, voted twice by readers of What's Up Annapolis as the best nonprofit fundraiser. So we're excited about that. So look forward to seeing everyone.
Okay, I would just like to remind people that we will not be having a membership meeting in August, as is our tradition, and we will see you all in September, 4th Monday of the month, and we'll look forward to hearing from another great speaker at that particular point in time. You'll hear all about it from Priscilla when she sends out her notices. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you all. Appreciate your participation. With that,
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone. All right. Thank you, Vicki and Priscilla. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I'll be,
Thank you.
Debbie, I'll be probably maybe sending you an email, but anything you can send me that I can use, I will keep a monthly or bi-monthly or every other month article in our newsletter. if you could send me something specific about, with an exact place where if somebody wants to volunteer, they can. I know I can find this on the website, but I want to make sure it's accurate, so I'll ask you.
When does your monthly?
I put it, I put it together at the beginning of a month, and I try to get the issue out before the 8th or 9th of the month, so prior to the 8th of a month. And it's just something short. I'll stick, if you have a particular picture you like, or I'll steal something off the website just to add the visual interest.
Okay, I'll talk to Matt. He's out at Sandy Point tomorrow, but on Wednesday. So, you know, we get, you know, we're 30 days out of Crab Cup, so
Yeah.
that's what we're focusing in on. But if we can get something that could go out on your August 8th
Coming
or
August, yeah.
newsletter, that might help us with those last months of August, September.
Yeah, tell me
October.
what you'd like in there. You can write it and I'll make it look nice. And if you have a picture to send me, otherwise I'll take something off the website.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
if you've
we'll
got
keep-
pictures, that's nice too. I like to add visual interest so that they'll look at the article.
Yeah, we'll keep it. And right now our call out for volunteers is not as specific as it is in the beginning of
Yeah.
the season. So I'll see what they can
Okay.
come up with.
Good,
So,
good.
okay, sounds good. Thanks so
We'll make
much.
this work.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye, Dave.
Good luck.
Thanks.